have reality to be focused on me. I'm on TV. I am a Vidiot.
Welcome back to another episode of Vidiot on Demand. Today we're going to do a little something, a new segment that I'd like to call Tell Me Something I Don't Know. Where I'm going to ask my friend Kaami. Way! Applause for Kaami.
Hello!
He has a few fandoms that he would like to tell me about. One of them being Wheel of Time.
Yes. Wheel of Time.
So, yeah, so I'm going to ask him, or he's going to literally pitch it to me, and I'm going to see if it's anything I can grasp my head around. Now, as I understand, they're going to make this a show.
Exactly. So it's been filming, and it was supposed to be releasing 2021, but some things happened in 2020 which cut to production stuff, and you can all guess what that was.
I wonder what that was.
Yeah, it was something that ends with 19. Yes.
Oh, God.
So the story about the Wheel of Time. Now, it is a very well-known within fantasy circles as a very good entry to fantasy. Not the best entry, because it's long, but it is a entry. And the premise here is that, not for the TV show, I'll be starting with the books, right? So for the TV show,
okay,
we can just kind of leave it for a second. But the books, they're, I should have counted how many they are, but there's over 13 books, I believe, or around 13 books.
Wow. This isn't a trilogy. This is full
No.
on a whole series.
Fun story, though. Side note, it was supposed to be a trilogy, and then he just kept writing. The story kind of revolves around these three farm boys, let's call them that, from two rivers.
So 3 Luke Skywalkers.
Exactly,
okay,
three Luke Skywalkers from 3 rivers. These 3 boys are like the key parts from this town. But there are also a couple of girls from the village, I guess, yeah, that also kind of tag along in the story. But the world that they live in, without going too deep into its history, the magic system that they have is that there are the magical powers of females and males. I just realized this will be weird to explain, but let's just call it. You have Saidin and you have Saidar, male and female versions of the power. And one is more calm and tranquil, and the other one is more of a fight to wield. Both sexes can wield the power, but they wield different parts of the power, right? Saidin or Saidar. And the way you use this is you weave the power, right? So there's it's not just, Leviosa. It's not, incantations. It's a more of a like a tricky system. I don't know how they're going to explain it in the series, but this is the book, right? So
can I just ask you, like, when they weave something, are we talking like Avatar: The Last Airbender, that they're kind of making a motion, or is it they legitimately have a thing that they're like sewing something?
Literally strands of power, right? If that makes sense.
Okay.
So and to be completely honest, I kind of read these a long time ago, so I don't remember exactly the types of strands, but let's just call them strands, right? And you weave them in different patterns, and then this whole weaving thing is like a thematic thing throughout the books, because the reality of itself is even called the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, the wheel of time turns. So you can look at it as a spinning wheel, right? Where you have threads. And these threads thread into stories. They just keep returning. Now, the premise of this whole, so that's the story about the 3 boys, and this is a story about the magic system. But why am I supposed to be interested in it? Well, there was one very strong male channeler, as they're called, right? You channel the power. And he was going to fight the Dark One. shaitan. Long story short, as they did that, it corrupted the male part of the power. So from then on, any male channelers become corrupted and go insane.
Oh, okay.
So only the female Aes Sedai, as they're called, the channelers, Aes Sedai, can channel without repercussions.
Okay.
But all males eventually go insane and wreak havoc.
So pretty much what toxic fandom is.
I mean,
eventually all males go insane.
You said it,
There's no
not
space
me.
for
Yeah. I'm not very well versed
I
in
can see the parallels.
But so the idea then is that what happens in that future then? So this powerful male channeler just goes batshit insane after a while, and this is how the first prologue starts. So I don't know what they're going to do. I don't think that's exactly how they're going to tell the intro to the series, but he kills his wife, which in a moment of lucidity he realizes, and basically just creates a mountain. Now that just sounds weird, but he creates a mountain, Dragon Mount. So in his death, he creates a mountain. And as the prophecy is foretold, this dragon, as he was called, Lews Therin, he will be reborn. And this is where these three boys come in. The Aes Sedai that come to that village believe that the dragon reborn is one of those three.
Okay.
And obviously, if the dragon is reborn, he will end up becoming insane if he continues to learn and channeling the power. Because what they do, and have been doing since his death and since the tainting of the male part of the one power, is they basically sterilize them from the power. They cut off their access to the power, because then you don't go insane. So any male channeler that is found is being taken in by the female Aes Sedai to become snip snip, cut away from the one power.
Yikes. Okay. So, let me get this straight. This book series called Wheel of Time doesn't really have time travel at all in it?
I don't want to spoil anything, but no. Spoiler alert. No, there technically isn't time travel. I mean, I don't think they'll... they might time
that's
skip.
That's kind of an oversimplification from
They won't go back in time, at least, as far as I remember.
They're not going to revisit the best moments of previous movies.
No time travel.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, so that's the idea of the Wheel of Time. And as I said, it's the author, Robert Jordan, he sadly passed away from, I believe it was a form of cancer. It was pancreatic cancer or some blood disease. So he couldn't finish the last books. But since this was not it wasn't a surprise that he got the disease. Like he'd had it for a while, so he'd been able to, pass on his writings, so that they could have another writer finish his works or finish the Wheel of Time. And this is where the last three books come in. They Tor Publishing, along with his wife, used Brandon Sanderson, a very prolific author, to finish the series. So he had to kind of, put his mind into the way Robert Jordan wrote and did his best to finish the works. And since Robert Jordan basically had the idea of the end since he started work, as I said, it was supposed to be a trilogy. Remember? So he had to finish off those books. So he did a very well, or I guess this could be debated, but I believe he did a very well job, or a very good job, finishing them.
Okay.
And I mean, as I said to you, and I've probably talked to you about before about Brandon Sanderson, that guy his works are just awesome. But that's
Okay.
that's an episode in and of itself. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So.
But I don't know if that sells you
sounds
into
like they have-
the Wheel of Time. But I mean, my idea, because let me try to put you in the mind of me as a fan, because Wheel of Time was.
Okay, please.
Wheel of Time was the series that basically got me into fantasy. One of my friends read a book review in grade 7, I think it was, and he said, "Oh, I read this book, The Eye of the World," which is the first book of The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan, and I went, "Oh, this story, it sounds very interesting," because I hadn't read, proper fantasy before. And I asked him, "Oh, so what is it about? Can I borrow the book?" And I borrowed the book, and I was hooked. Because, I mean, and as I said, I don't want to talk too much about, like, characters, because it has a lot of characters. I mean, it's a Game of Thrones worthy character sheet. So there's
Okay.
just tons of people in it. Yes.
Question: who's your favorite character?
In the book, Matrim Cawthon, or Matt.
Matt.
He's the
Love it.
ne'er-do-well, little rascal, of the group, and I kind of saw myself in him, but not as confident and cocky, but the trickster, right? He's like the Loki of the group, but not stab you as a snake type person,
Exactly. I love that part.
Yeah.
By the way.
It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So cool. All right. I think I can. It's a lot to take in, but that is mostly with like most fantasy worlds that you're not fully a part of, or you've basis in. So it's like
I've talked about this like with my other friends who've read the books, and before even the TV series was being talked about, and we were like, okay, how are they going to show the magic? Because the magic is as I said, it's complex. It literally is the whole weaving. So I mean, healing is not just I will put my chakra into your body and now you will heal, or I will use the flow of it's not like that. It was made to be like you would probe into someone's body and you would have to weave correctly, or you could damage them, right? It's like a
So it feels like a lot more of a discipline than say just close your eyes and reach out with your
you will feel the
feelings,
healing. It's like, okay, but and that's the thing. It's more of a like a probing type thread strand, pulling different things and like weaving things into existence.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because with books, when they try to translate them to screen, sometimes, for example, if we're going to go back to
please
Avatar
don't mention the movie.
when they first made that. Sadly,
Yeah.
I have to, because when you see, but the weird thing is that this wasn't even a book.
Yeah.
You saw how awesome it looked. In animated form, and then it takes like 20 people to float one rock slowly across the screen. So it's like, talk about a loss in translation, but that's what I'm saying. Like when you describe it to me, like I can see something, but it's like, wow, you really need somebody with a clever eye and an artful direction to kind of make that look intense and cool. Like, for example, off the top of my head, when you think of like Sherlock Holmes, for example, sometimes they have that thing where you can hear his inner monologue and everything is in slow motion in the Guy Ritchie version. But then in like the Stephen Moffat, the Benedict Cumberbatch version, it's like you can see him writing things in his head that kind of come up around him. So like
And,
all of the notes
him as drunk
so,
is
like,
one of
this
the best
visual-
episodes when he it's like just seeing weird text like squiggly lines. It's like what? Yeah.
What's going on now? Yeah, but so that's interesting. You really have to find a way to display the magic so that people immediately go, I've never seen that before, because it is. Sadly, it's different when you read something and when you see something.
And as I hope fans of the series will probably attest to, it is a difficult magic system to get to the screen. Now, we've seen The Witcher and the magic they have there. We've seen, I'm going to say Aragon, the movie, and the magic they kind of brought there. But yeah, again, taking things from the book and just going, nah, this is nice, and just throwing it out the window. But like the magic needs to kind of feel like it fits the series. And as I said, this is going to be a bunch of, or the books are a bunch of pattern stuff. It's about threads. It's about those types of ideas. Now, people will probably fight me over this, but I would be fine with almost any type of magical representation, because I'm fine with it
drastically
being, as I said, as long as it not like that though, but as long as I said, it fits the series, right? If they start bringing out wands, it's wrong. It doesn't fit the series. That's not what it is. Because and getting into the series again, because they already have these types of power-enhancing things, Angreals and Sa-Angreals and Terra-Angreals, like to channel, again, your power through or do something with, right? So they already have those things. I'm just glad we're getting a Wheel of Time series.
Yeah, because in the end, I think that any detail of a story, depending on what it is, you can kind of... I feel like sometimes it is... What is it that fans love about any given property? Is it the interplay between the characters? Is it like you're just in it to see these people on the big screen for the first time or whatever, Or is it like, no, but it's important that you get these little small, really ridiculous small details completely right. And it's a balance there, because some things, I remember there was a time people thought that The Watchmen could never be made into a movie because it's just too much. And some people say that The Watchmen shouldn't have been made into a movie at all. Or whatever. So, like, but I don't know. I think I'm curious to see. I may not pick up a book. Like, I won't go to the store right now and pick one up, but I will, thanks to your talking about it. I will definitely check out the first 3 episodes. I'll give it.
All right, that makes sense. I mean, it's 3 out of the 6 have been filmed already. Sorry, 6 out of the 8 have six out of the 8 have been filmed already. So you'd be watching the first half of what's been filmed already, but it's not out yet. It's not out yet.
Yeah.
But it hopefully will be out sometime in 2021. And here's to hoping.
Well, there you have it. The Wheel of Time. Yay or nay? I'm going to say... No, but I will definitely check it out. Like I said, I'll give it 3 episodes. And, if this is something... I would definitely like to double back to
We will,
this
once it's released.
After maybe we can watch the first one together or something.
Yeah.
In a perfect world. Yeah, and then you can go... They shouldn't have done that. No way he would have said that. No, that's not how she looks in the comics or in the original book. She had blue hair.
To be fair, with the casting,
I don't know.
I am okay with basically. Again, I'm okay with a bunch of randos. Like, it can be mixed race. You can have Asians and blacks and Hispanics and whatevers. Like, cast them.
Yeah.
I don't care. I just want to see my lovely, lovely Wheel of Time characters.
Yeah, I mean, I think that goes with that should be every fan's desire, that it doesn't matter what they look like unless it's a part of the story, that you just get the person who can really portray that
But yeah, the interesting part of that is since there are different in the book the different nationalities, and they do have like Robert Jordan had literally written down how he'd envisioned some people talking, like the people from a far off land were basically Texans. There's literally like a list he has written down. So as long as that kind of fits, and you can kind of get, again, it's the feeling that matters. And some people, whenever there's a wrong cast, it breaks that feeling. But in my opinion, I don't need that. I need the feeling to be that, sure, can these 5 people from 2 Rivers actually make sense as a group that came from this village? I mean, if that makes sense, I'll buy it.
Yeah. Well, let's hope so. So, for those of you watching, I hope you... Wait, is there like a May the Force be with you in that universe? Do they have something that's like to all live long and prosper? Do you have one of those?
The one that came straight to me from the top of my head is Taishar Manetheren. But yeah.
Whoa. Okay, just look straight into the camera and
Taishar Manetheren. But I don't know exactly if that's how you would pronounce it, but that's how it looks like.
Wow, you're straight up like Klingon this whole thing. Like, there's a whole language and everything. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for today's episode. Join me again when we're going to do this segment one more time, but this time we're going to talk about Percy Jackson? Stay tuned.